I'll say a few words about Haircut on Via Di Mezzo. Written as a direct address in the second person, the poem examines the personal and social costs of secrecy, and then moves out to describe a scene of patriarchal authority in a family. The speaker, awaiting her turn in an Italian hair salon, ruminates on her first week in Italy with her woman lover. As the narrator recalls buying food and picking up mail, readers understand that the local merchants fully realize the two women are a couple. The ruminations end when a child stands up for her haircut, presumably submitting to a female rite of passage in the salon. Something to think about. What role has secrecy played in your life? How has the experience of revealing something affected you and/or your relations with others? Haircut on Via Di Mezzo. The brisk beautician nodded toward a chair and twirled a pair of scissors, one hand in the damp hair of the woman who ran the milk store down the street I'd frequented all summer. I took a seat to wait. In town a week, I'd gone for mozzarella, bewildered by the array and eager to please you with my choice. I studied the coy Italian yogurts, their bright letters, milk cartons, glass jugs of cream. When my turn came, I tried to explain that I didn't know what kind, buffalo, misto, to buy. She narrowed her eyes. "With whom do you stay?" she asked in Italian. Surprised, I said your name, trying to frame our friendship and disguise what I knew you wanted to hide. "Misto," she said clearly, and repeated your name. She prefers misto. Every few days, when we ran out of eggs or milk, I returned. She called me Americana and asked after you, the Bella Mariana. Listen, everybody knew everything. At the lavanderia, in the steam, the singing Englishman who washed our sheets and jeans showed his esteem by chatting with me about your old girlfriend. Said she used to complain about her shirts. God knows I'd mend mine myself before I'd say a word. In line at the post office, I asked for my mail and got yours. For free, the grocer bagged an aging bunch of leeks, told me to tell you, make soup. Nights we sat on the stoop of our 17th century home, planned a trip to Rome, struggled to get along. Only the merchants found our work vacation amusing. Between us, conversation had become a series of sparring gestures. The 8-year-old rose for her haircut, and siblings turned to stare. On one side of me sat her brothers, on the other, her parents, and an aged grandmother dressed for the affair in black. The cutter beckoned with the long finger, and I saw suddenly a rope uncoil and hair twist down the child's back to the floor. When the scissors snapped and the first hank of hair fell to the marble tiles, the girl whirled, the whites in her eyes flashing. I saw tears bubble and slide down her face as she fixed her gaze on her father. Cool and serene, he nodded to her, his youngest child, and she, obedient, knowing what had to be, leaned toward the blades and turned her wildness inside.